Breastfeeding Week starts today, and we have got a group of educators here to start us off. I'd like to welcome Penny Wyatt and Deborah Stace from Mamalicious, and also Cara and Chris, who are also child educators at Mamalicious and are going to do a bit of demonstrating. Ladies, welcome to the show. Penny, let's start with you. It's World Breastfeeding Week. What's the purpose of having this week?
Well, it's to raise awareness of breastfeeding and to focus on a particular issue to do with breastfeeding each year. And the theme for this year is breastfeeding, a vital response in an emergency.
Why is it a vital response in an emergency?
Everyone knows that breastfeeding is the best way to feed your child under normal circumstances, but in an emergency, sometimes well-meaning people might interfere, thinking that breastfeeding is being a burden to a mother or a child, and they might offer a formula instead of continuing with breastfeeding, and that can put a child at risk of diarrhea, dehydration, and perhaps even in the worst case scenario, the baby might die. Under emergency circumstances, we want to encourage women to keep breastfeeding going as much as possible.
But where would we ever see, apart from, say, a civil emergency in New Zealand or an earthquake or something awful, touch wood that doesn't happen, where would we see any other kind of emergency in New Zealand like that?
Well, New Zealand is at risk of having earthquakes and so on, but swine flu in itself, it has been a bit of an emergency. The pandemic, and during swine flu, we wanted to encourage women to breastfeed their babies as much as possible, because that's the only protection that babies will have against swine flu. You can't vaccinate babies against it, and you can't treat them, but their mothers will make natural immunity to swine flu.
So even if, for example, the mother has swine flu, she should still keep breastfeeding the baby? It doesn't like pass through the breast milk, the virus?
No, the virus doesn't pass through, but if a mother has caught swine flu, then the baby's probably been exposed as well, and so the mother's body is efficient at fighting swine flu, way more efficient than a baby's body.
So keep breastfeeding.
Keep breastfeeding.
That's a really interesting point. Deborah, let's talk about the child education side of Mamalicious. We should first talk about Mamalicious. What a brilliant name.
Thank you.
What is Mamalicious? Well,
we're a Wellington-based breastfeeding education and support group. So we teach breastfeeding classes for pregnant women and their support people, currently just in Wellington.
But thinking about going around
we
the country.
thought we might take over the world, actually, but we'll start with New Zealand,
Well, I'll tell you what might take over the world are those brilliant T-shirts.
Thank you.
Those
They're great, aren't they?
They are just, I want one.
Do you know, we caused such a stir the first time we wore them in public that they're actually available for sale now through our website. But we might arrange one for you, Sarah.
I love it. Oh, they're just lovely.
Thank you.
Now, what kind of things can women expect to get at your classes?
Well, actually, we're going to, we run through a number of techniques with our women. So, teaching a pregnant woman to breastfeed, you probably wonder how we do that. One of the techniques that we use is we have them work with baby dolls to practice positioning their babies and figure out which bits go where, so where their bits go, where babies' bits go. And then they're a lot more confident when they've actually got their babies in their arms. And in fact, Cara was going to give us a wee demo.
Yes, funny you should mention it. She's got some...
I've got some great props.
Yes, that looks about what breasts look like when you are...
We like to, but larger than life for some women, maybe not all.
No, not for all.
We like to talk to our classes about how important it is to get a good latch, so the way that baby's mouth goes onto mum's breast, and we like them to really understand and be able to see how that looks. So we talk to them about things like, so we've got the breast, this is baby's mouth here, big wide open mouth coming up under the breast and taking the nipple in. So
how do you make sure the baby does that though? Because I do remember going to breastfeeding classes and it's easier said than done. I mean, how do you make sure the baby opens its mouth wide?
One of the things you can do is just express a little bit of milk onto the end of the nipple and then run that down baby's nose. So baby gets a wee bit of a smell down onto their chin, and then they gape their mouth open and then quickly onto the breast.
So you get it right underneath
like
to get a good
So we also get, as Deborah said, we get our class members to practice holding a doll, and what we're hearing consistently is that women who've practiced while they're pregnant in our classes and at home are that much more confident with their hands, what to do with their hands, what to do with baby. So again, some of our beautiful props.
No, but they're great because it gives you
Beautiful breasts. Obviously, there's no nudity in our classes, so women aren't having to expose themselves. So we have these which are good for a laugh, but also then we can really demonstrate what women should do with their own breasts without distracting anyone with ours.
And
so
then
we get them to, yep, they all have their own baby doll. Some of them bring Muppets instead, but we get them to bring them in nice and close. So hug them in nice and close. So I talk about tummy to mummy, baby's tummy to mummy, and with their arms hugging up around baby's breast, around mum's breast, and that's all the lovely skin-to-skin contact that, you know, helps mum and baby get ready to breastfeed.
Now, Chris, can I ask you, if you're a mum, as most of us were, who ends up with very sore breasts from breastfeeding, what's your advice? Like, how do you keep going? Because it's so painful.
Absolutely. And one of the services we provide as well is the postnatal support for those women. You know, a lot of women do start off with a hiss and a bang, but yeah, our rates drop quite dramatically by about 6 weeks. So, so having that postnatal support to help women is really important. So Mamalicious run postnatal support along with lots of other great services out there, and we do them monthly, and women can come to as many of those as they wish. We're also available on the phone and via email for, as you said, those emergencies like, what do? I can't even think about getting my baby on the breast because my nipples are so sore. They can give us a call and we can help them at that stage rather than them fighting their way through it and ending up wanting to just give up. So yeah, that postnatal support is very important.
I think you're right, because once you get into it, after a few weeks, it's such a wonderful, rewarding experience. Ladies, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much, Anne, for bringing in the props.
Thank you.
Wonderful that you're supporting this great cause. And there's more information about International Breastfeeding Week on our website. Guys.
Thank you, Sarah. Now, officially, there's less than a month till spring, and today's goodie bag will help you see off the rest of winter.
It's this winter wellness pack of natural health products from Convita, with everything you need for sore throats and blocked noses, thanks to Manuka honey, olive leaf and peppermint.
The pack's worth more than $100, and to win it, just wait for the little goodie bag to appear on the screen and dial 0800 888 255. That's 0800 888 255.
And be the 5th caller to name one of the dishes Martin Bosley's making today.
Don't forget, if you've already won a goodie bag prize in the last
2
months, you can enter today. Stay tuned for Montana Book Award winner Emily Perkins. There's more from Sambalada Funk and Martai's in the Reo classroom right after this.